before we pray together, take a deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your thoughts slow down. This morning is not about rushing or striving. It's about surrender.
Maybe you've been feeling anxious lately, carrying too much, thinking too hard, trying to keep everything together. You're not alone, and more importantly, you were never meant to carry it all by yourself.
Life has a way of piling things onto our shoulders. Expectations, responsibilities, unknowns. We try to control the outcomes. We worry about things we can't change. We hold our breath and wait for peace to find us. But peace doesn't come from control. Peace comes from surrender. And this morning, God is gently inviting you into that sacred place. He isn't impressed by how strong you pretend to be. He's moved when you say, God, I can't do this on my own. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. That's not just a suggestion. That's a lifeline. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up, tired, honest, and open. This is your moment to breathe, to be still, to let go, and to remember that the God who created the universe also holds you, right here, right now. So as we begin this time together, I invite you to say these words from your heart. God, I surrender this day to you. Let's be honest. Surrender sounds beautiful, but it's not always easy. We say, God, I trust you, but deep inside we're still holding on to the outcome, to the plan, to the fear that if we let go, everything might fall apart. Sometimes we're not really surrendering. We're just controlling things more politely. Control whispers lies. It says, you're behind. It says, you have to figure this out. It says, if you don't do it all, no one will. And we listen. We replay the same worries in our heads. We stay up late, thinking through every possibility, planning every detail. We wear a smile while our hearts carry silent pressure. But here's the truth. Control doesn't bring peace. It brings exhaustion. It tightens our chest and speeds up our thoughts. Because we were never created to carry it all. Peace doesn't live in control. It lives in surrender. The moment we finally say, God, this is bigger than me, and I give it to you, everything begins to shift. That's not giving up. That's faith. That's trust in the one who knows what we don't and sees what we can't. God isn't asking you to prove yourself. He's inviting you to place yourself back in His care. To say, even if I don't understand the plan, I trust the one who wrote it. So today, loosen your grip. Let peace replace pressure. Let trust take the place of fear. Because when you finally let go, you discover what true freedom feels like. Have you ever noticed how fear loves to linger in the quiet? It whispers worst-case scenarios. It replays old mistakes. It tells you you're not enough, not strong enough, not fast enough, not capable enough. And the more we listen, the more anxious we feel. But here's the truth. Fear is loud, but God's peace is louder. Not in volume, but in power. When you hand your fear to God, He doesn't just take it. He trades it. You give Him your worry, He gives you peace. You give Him your what-ifs, He reminds you of His promises. You give Him your need to control, He offers clarity. The world tells you to hustle harder. God tells you, be still. The world says, figure it all out. God says, follow me. In the book of 1 Peter 5:7, we're reminded, cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. Not some anxiety, all of it. You were never meant to carry fear alone. You were never created to be your own savior. When fear rises, choose to pause, choose to pray, choose to say, God, I trust you more than I trust my fear. Because peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the presence of God in the middle of them. So today, take a deep breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let God replace your panic with peace. You're not alone. You never were. And peace is just a prayer away. You don't have to have it all figured out. That's not your job. That's God's. We live in a world obsessed with certainty. We want a 5-year plan, a guaranteed outcome, a roadmap with no detours. But faith doesn't work like that, and neither does peace. Proverbs 3, verses 5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. Notice the invitation, not to figure it out, but to trust. Not to understand everything, but to lean into God. Because sometimes your understanding will lead you into fear, but God's wisdom will lead you into peace. It's okay if the path looks uncertain. It's okay if you don't see the full picture yet. God does, and He doesn't make mistakes. Not in your story, not in your timing, not in your steps. When you let go of the pressure to control it all, you make room for God to guide you. So instead of asking, what's next, ask, who's leading me? Instead of saying, I can't see the way, say, God, I trust that you do. Trust isn't passive, it's powerful. It's a daily decision to choose peace over panic, direction over doubt, and God's plan over your limited view. Today, you don't need a perfect plan. You just need to trust the one who holds it. Take the next step with faith and let God lead the way. Let's be honest. Trying to control everything is exhausting. You plan, overthink, worry, and try to hold it all together. But the more you grip it, the heavier it becomes. The truth is, you were never meant to carry the weight of the world. God didn't design you for constant pressure. He designed you for peace. But that peace comes through surrender. 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. Not some of it, all of it. The small worries, the big fears, the silent burdens you don't tell anyone about. God isn't asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to be honest. To come with your shaking hands and say, Lord, I can't do this alone. I give it to you. Because when you give him your fear, he gives you his peace. When you give him your stress, he offers stillness. When you let go, he steps in. Let this be your reminder. Surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the moment you stop striving and start resting in a God who never sleeps, never fails, and never stops loving you. So if your shoulders feel heavy, if your thoughts are racing, if your heart is tired, take a breath. Open your hands. Whisper, God, I release it to you, and feel peace take its place. Sometimes life simply doesn't make sense. Doors close, plans fall apart, timing feels all wrong. And in those moments, it's tempting to ask, God, where are you? But the truth is, just because you can't see the path doesn't mean God isn't guiding your steps. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to make sense of everything. You just need to trust the one who already sees the full picture. God's perspective is eternal. He sees what's behind, what's ahead, and what's best for you, even when it feels delayed or difficult. Maybe that closed door was protection. Maybe the waiting season is preparation. Maybe what feels like silence is actually sacred stillness. God isn't late. He's aligning things in ways you can't yet comprehend. So instead of leaning on what you understand, lean into who God is. He is faithful. He is wise. He is for you, not against you. And even when you can't trace his hand, you can still trust his heart. So today, pause. Let go of the need to figure it all out. Whisper, Lord, I trust you. And believe, even in the unknown, God is already working things together for your good. Let's be honest. Control feels comforting. We plan, we organize, we hold things tightly, believing that if we manage every detail, everything will turn out right. But control is a heavy burden. And the truth? You were never meant to carry it all. God didn't design you to hold the weight of the world. He invites you to place it in his hands. When we try to control everything, we invite stress, anxiety, and fear into our lives. We overthink, we second guess, and we carry tension in our hearts, our minds, even our bodies. But there's a better way. It's called surrender. Not giving up, but giving it over. Releasing the need to fix what only God can heal. Laying down our timeline and trusting his. When we release control, we create space. Space for peace. Space for rest. Space for clarity. Isaiah 41:10 says, Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. You don't need to do it all. You just need to let go and let God in. So today, take a breath. Open your hands and pray, Lord, I release what was never mine to control. Lead me, guide me, carry me. Because in surrender, you'll find what control could never give you. True peace. Surrender isn't a one-time event. It's not something we do once and move on. Surrender is a rhythm, a sacred practice we return to every single day. Each morning, before the world rushes in, before the notifications start buzzing, God invites you to begin again, not with hustle, but with humility. Not with control, but with trust. Daily surrender is choosing to lay everything at His feet, your fears, your schedule, your relationships, your emotions. It's waking up and saying, God, this is your day. Lead me. I trust you. It's easy to wake up and immediately think about what needs to be done, the emails, the errands, the expectations. But what if you started with stillness? What if the most powerful part of your day was the moment you surrendered it? Psalm 143 verse 8 says, "Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life." Daily surrender doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you're no longer carrying it alone. It means walking into your day with peace because the weight is no longer yours to bear. So tomorrow morning, before your feet hit the floor, pause, open your hands, and whisper, God, I surrender today. Lead the way. Because when you start with surrender, you walk with strength, not your own, but His.
Let's be honest. Control feels safe. We make plans. We build routines. We grip tightly to what we know, hoping it will protect us from pain, from chaos, from the unknown. But control is an illusion, and eventually it becomes a burden. The more we try to control, the more pressure we feel. The more we cling, the more anxious we become. But what if true peace isn't found in control, but in letting go? God never asked us to have it all figured out. He never called us to carry the full weight of every outcome. He simply said, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means giving over, placing what's heavy into the hands of the one who can truly carry it. It's saying, God, I don't have the answers, but I trust that you do. I don't see the whole picture, but I believe you're already working behind the scenes. When we release control, we make space for peace. A peace that quiets our racing thoughts, a peace that guards our heart when the future feels uncertain. So today, loosen your grip, take a deep breath, and let go, not because you're weak, but because you are loved by a God who is strong enough to hold it all. You weren't made to carry everything, but you were made to trust the one who can.